The 2019 World Series is going back to Houston for Game 6 and possibly Game 7. Nationals took the first two, Astros took the next three. What will happen in Game 6 and how do the teams compare going into it? I'll attempt to answer that, but first let me remind you to subscribe to this channel for more baseball videos from Major League and from around the world. There's plenty of baseball out there, not just MLB. Now, back to Game 6 of the World Series. First of all, I think it's safe to say that home field advantage is not really an advantage here. At least it hasn't been up to this point, and I don't think it's worth mentioning any further. Momentum is a factor, and it's definitely in favor of the Astros. They've won the last 3 games by a total of 16 runs. The Nationals had the momentum going into D.C., but they lost it in a big way. The Astros will start Justin Verlander while the Nationals will start Steven Strasburg. This matchup should favor Washington. Strasburg has not had a bad start in the postseason. His ERA is 1.93, WHIP is 0.96 through 28 innings of postseason pitching. Verlander has a 4.15 ERA and 1.19 WHIP in 30 1/3 innings. Strasburg has already beaten Verlander head-to-head in this series. In Game 2, Strasburg threw 6 innings, allowing 2 runs and 8 base runners. Meanwhile, Verlander also pitched 6 innings, giving up 4 runs and allowing 10 on base. But beyond starters, it's bad news for the Nationals. We knew going into the postseason Washington's bullpen could be a problem, since it was the worst bullpen in all of Major League during the regular season. But up until the last 3 games, it hadn't really mattered. The starters got the job done, so did the offense, and the bullpen didn't blow it. But during that 3-game set in D.C., the Nationals' bullpen gave up 7 runs in 10 2/3 innings. The Astros relievers looked awful in Game 2, but aside from that, they've been effective, especially Will Harris, who's thrown 9 scoreless innings this postseason. The Nationals could use Anibal Sanchez in relief. He'll have had 3 days of rest going into Game 6, but if they do that, they'll have no one for Game 7. That is, unless Scherzer is available, which would give them another advantage at starting pitching for Game 7. But no matter how good their pitching is in Game 6, the Nationals will need more from their offense if they're going to beat the Astros. In the first 2 games of this series, Washington hit 5 home runs. In the next 3, they only hit 1 home run, total. Houston, on the other hand, has been quite consistent with 9 home runs over 5 games. Never a game without a home run for the Astros. In Game 3, the Nationals did a decent job of getting on base with 9 hits and 5 walks, but they only managed 1 run. Then in Games 4 and 5, they couldn't even do that. 4 hits, 5 walks in Game 4, 4 hits, 2 walks in Game 5. Their offense appeared to be getting worse and worse with every game they played. This is the biggest problem for the Nationals right now. If they are going to come back and win this series, they'll need to turn things around offensively, but they do have a day off prior to Game 6, so it might give them a chance to take a look at themselves and find out what they're doing wrong. Houston, meanwhile, probably wishes they didn't have a day off. Their offense seems to be getting better and better. There were concerns about Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa, who were badly underperforming, but those concerns were eased with Bregman's grand slam in Game 4 and Correa's 2-run shot in Game 5. In conclusion, the Nationals can feel confident with Strasburg on the mound, but they'll need him to last into the late innings because they can't trust their bullpen, and pitching won't be enough. Their offense needs to get back to the production levels of Games 1 and 2. As for the Astros, they just need to keep doing what they've been doing. It's their series to lose right now. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you've got anything to add about these teams' strengths and weaknesses. Also, let me know what you think the final score will be. Until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.